Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. Wow, how are you all feeling after the Derby Days defeat? I mean, the defeat still hurts a bit. That I still feel, why should our unbeaten streak be beaten by United of all the people? And but still, today morning I've woken up and I've been thinking for the last 2 3 months the memories that this team has given all of us. In fact, the scintillating play, the way we were moving on the pitch, the pace at which we were passing in the last 3 months, not yesterday's game, but everything about the last 3 months. I mean, you can make a choice here. I mean, always in life you can be either optimistic, or you can be, always you can be pessimistic and doubt things. You can look at the positive side, or you can look at the negative side. See, you can be happy that you have $99, or you can be I mean, you can be happy that you have $99, or you can be sad that I have $1 less, $200. So instead, let us just celebrate. Let us use this moment to look back at what all we have achieved in the last 3 months. The great work that the players have done. Pep has done everything. Let us take this opportunity to relish all of those moments of the past. Let us look at some of the news, what the news outlets have been covering and all. Yesterday after City lost the match, no YouTube, no nothing. I was like just out, no news, nothing. I just cut off myself from everything. It was just today morning after I'd woken up, and I was just looking at all of the news and stuff, and what's been going on. It's a different kind of feeling after 3 months losing for the first time. It feels a bit different, it feels a bit awkward. And all the media, everyone raring to go at you, everyone is waiting for the opportunity to see when City will lose, when can we just go at them, when can we point out all of the deficiencies. Everyone has been looking for this moment, and it has never come at a more opportune time for them. This article in the Manchester Evening News, just look at this. An awkward truth has been. I'll just put the screen a bit more. I'll make it full screen. Look at this. What does Manchester Evening News write? When City lose, an awkward truth has been exposed by Man City's derby defeat. And the article reads that City will not be able to dominate English football for the next 4 5 years to come. The reason why City has been so dominant this year is because all of their other opponents have been rubbish. The way, if people play the way United play, City would not have even been in the title race. All of that rubbish has been written in this article. Just go through it. If you have time. So much of hate, so much of think so so much of this hate mentality towards City after one defeat. Why is it? Instead, he could have written why City lost yesterday. Pep got it tactically wrong. No mention of nothing at all. No mention of anything about the game. No, why City have been on this incredible run? Because everyone has been shit. Everyone has been rubbish, and it's just City, and it's just City who have been good in a league that was below par. City was the only team who were a little bit good, and we won 3 matches. I mean, 3 months, everything in a row. What a rubbish article. I mean, everything in the media, almost everything has been like this. You go to Twitter, you see, go to Manchester News, the Guardian, everything. Alan Shearer in his match of the day yesterday was telling, United have the potential to become champions if they play like to their ability, if they press like they press yesterday. They are actually a better team than City. I mean, what the hell is this? What the crap is this? We just lose a game, and everyone is coming on to us, pouncing on to us. Look at this. Maybe Man City won't dominate English football for the next billion years after all if the rivals actually turn up. Oh yeah, who's stopping the rivals from turning up? It's not as if Pep is telling the rivals don't play like that. Just play in an easier way so that we can win. What a load of rubbish. I think this is the time when we as Man City fans should be really together, and should be behind the club. Let me now go into the fan reactions. I'll just share the fan reactions to you. I'll just share it from a really credible group where our fans are like really there. Let's uh, Yes, this has been a really interesting thing. I've come across the Reddit group, which I've been really a part of. It says, I mean, it was an excellent thread that has been opened by one of our City fans. He says I mean, this is how we have been feeling all day long. Actually, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. We lost the derby, and I feel disappointed having lost against a cocky team that is flattered by the league position. But after the hot takes pop up, remember what the boys in Sky Blue have given us. Enjoy during these difficult pandemic times. A time where most other teams collapse more than once and where we climb from 13th position to the league leaders. And we are still in contention for all the four trophies we have been playing for without getting knocked out or being demoted. What an excellent piece of text. This is exactly how I promise each one of us Man City fans have been feeling. Just even me just waking up in the morning and just thinking, oh, City have lost suddenly, and that to our rivals, cocky rivals who are celebrating as if they won a league title. That's how much they have been degraded. That's how much United have gone down. That's an example. Just remember, when your rivals celebrate even your small misstep, that means that's how much low they have gone down, and that's how much you have improved. Now let's look at some of the comments to this. They've been really interesting, I would say. People are saying, with the lurking energy is saying, with the first loss of 2021 and hot takes already popping up, I want to remind everyone that this is the same team that has given us the winning streak, the same manager, the same players, and the same season. One loss doesn't defeat this highly compact season. Exactly, I would say. I mean, just there's a load of negativity around. Just not fall into the trap of negativity. People are saying that the betting agencies have crashed down United's odds of winning the title and peeping the 11-point gap now almost 5 times. Now the odds are 100-1 or something. United, I know, still they're long odds, but a lot of negativity around. People are telling, if teams press City like the way United did, City can be beaten, City can be got at. People are saying this defeat doesn't mean anything in the English Premier League, but it means a lot in the City's Champions League dream context. I was actually a bit happy yesterday, in a sense that City lost in a derby, in a game which didn't mean as much of a consequence than in a big Champions League game, or than in a Carabao Cup semi-final, for example, against United. So City chose to lose a game where it was inconsequential. In fact, it was more of a help to United than to City. We are already on the way. Let's get it right to be the next Premier League champions. Be the end of the season. It's Blue Moon that will rise in Manchester. Manchester will be blue. Okay, now it's red, but Manchester will be blue at the end of the season. That's for sure. So lot of positivity. Don't get drawn into the moment. For example, be positive. Just regain that positivity within you. That's what I want to say. So and another interesting comment by Lurking NFG: couldn't agree with you more. Dropping points was inevitable, but this loss changes absolutely nothing. I would say upward and onward, but we are already up. So onwards we go. Exactly. That's how it is. Jordan Navraj says, have avoided the news or internet since full time, but have come in onto this Reddit in the first half an hour, and the state of this Reddit is more defeating than I watched today. Exactly, so much negativity around. All of a sudden, half of our team isn't good enough. Jesus and Sterling should have been sold last summer, and we will lose every competition we are in because of this one result. Exactly. That's how the media, that's how, Gary Neville, that's how Roy Keane in the studio, that's how people in the studio yesterday, everyone was reacting to this one bad game, and it's as if that we are a useless team in Europe. We are crap. So reactionary, guys. We lost, but still we are one of the best teams in Europe. That's the way to go. What did you guys honestly think we were going to win every single game from now till the end of the season? Get real. The real challenge starts now. Win our next game, and suddenly everything is back on track. No need for doom and gloom, season over nonsense. Yes, we won against a cocky, stupid team yesterday. A team that has defeated Leipzig, top of Bundesliga, PSG, top of League One, Manchester City as top of Premier League. So a team we have lost to a cocky team, a team that has defeated leaders of Europe's top five leagues, and has lost to teams like Sheffield United, drawn against teams like West Brom, lost to teams like Istanbul Başakşehir. So there's nothing in it, nothing to take from it. This is the team that sits back. After United went 1-0 up, they sat back after the first 10 minutes as if it was a nil-nil and they wanted to play for a draw. They were shit scared of us. They were parking the bus at us. All of the goals they scored yesterday from counter attack. So how do we compare ourselves against a team that has no tactics, plays on the counter attack? Tomorrow you could lose against a Fulham or you could lose against a West Brom. On the counter attack they score a goal. That doesn't make you a shit team. Bayern Munich drew against a team 19th in the Bundesliga. Bundesliga is first of all a bit crap. Does that mean Bayern Munich is not the best team in Europe? No. Manchester United, I don't see any difference between Manchester United and West Brom or Sheffield United. Both play counter attack. It's just that United have got more money and they buy players like Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. You put Rashford into that Sheffield United or a West Brom team, I bet it will play the same way as Manchester United. There's no rocket science, anything involved in that. So nothing to take away from that defeat yesterday. Nothing we learned much. You lost against a counter-attacking team. Well, that can happen, losing against a counter-attacking team. So let us read some more comments. Odex says, remember when we lost in the Champions League last year? The discussion here was all Pep's lost it and will never win Champions League with Pep. Less than a week later, speculative article drops saying Pep might renew his contract, and the discussion here is back to Pep is GOAT and we need to keep him. In short term, teams upstairs has pools of reactionary opinions and are only really good for means. Exactly, being reactionary in the short term is useless. In the spur of the moment, you could say that buy Haaland, buy sell De Bruyne and all of those things. Sell Cancelo and all of those things. Don't be reactionary. Cool. They are also. It looks as if the players had been jaded yesterday, a bit lagged. It happens. 21 games unbeaten. 21 games winning streak, 28 games unbeaten. This is something to enjoy. This is something to celebrate. Rather than just be reactionary about one defeat. See, you can, like I said at the starting of the stream, see, you can be unhappy that you have $1 less than $1 million, or you can celebrate having all that money. That is the thing. A lot of people in this world are there where they are unhappy because they have $1 less than $1 million, rather than celebrating all of the money that they have, or rather than celebrating all of the successes that the team has really brought to us. So it's important to an excellent comment I would say from Odek. It's really important to focus on the long term, focus on where we are. Nothing to panic. All the teams in the Premier League would have loved to be in our position. If you would say to Man United, for example, you're at the top of the table, 11 points clear of City, and would you accept losing to City and then going on and winning the title at the end? Of course they would. Ask any of the Man United fans, they would. So we are in a dream scenario because you have been relentless. Let us not remember, October, November, this team was mad as shit. This team was mad as finishing 6th, 7th. People were telling this team will struggle to finish in the top 4. Then we went on that run. So this season has been about digging deep into ourselves, but we just forget it, where we were in August, September, October. Don't ever forget our roots. Don't ever forget the struggle which we came through in this season to go on this scintillating run. And that game against Chelsea, where we started the scintillating run, Pep had only 13 players to choose from. More than half of our team was stuck with the pandemic. City didn't even have, I think, enough people to fill in the entire subs, fill in the bench. For people like Gundogan, Ferran Torres, everyone suffered from the COVID pandemic. Gundogan talks about the dark times. In an article yesterday I was reading, Gundogan was talking about how difficult he was suffering when he was infected with coronavirus. So all of these problems, not telling it's unique to City, teams have faced, but we came through all of these problems, and in spite of all of these problems, putting in a run, putting in a run of 21 games on a spin, 15 games winning on a Premier League, 28 games unbeaten, in a season that is exceptional, in a season that is like no other season, in a season where forget about finding inconsistency, in a season where players themselves are lacking belief, players themselves are lacking their identity. In such a season, Pep has brought that motivation. In such a season, Pep has brought the entire team together. These are the aspects which we should appreciate about City this season, especially players playing for each other. None of the players feeling insecure, even though there's a lot of competition. Which manager does this really well? Bringing 16 yes, City has world class players to fill their entire bench, but it's not easy to manage world class players. Which manager can manage both Mahrez playing and someone like a Raheem Sterling sitting on a bench? No, there'll be competition. There would have been voices if it was any other club that Sterling wants to leave, but no, players want to make each other better, players want to improve each other. This winning run has not been about winning games. It has not been about this 21 run unbeaten streak, 28 run unbeaten streak or 21 winning streak. This winning run has been about how close we have been to each other, how we have supported each other, how the players have supported each other, the companionship, the friendship, the comradeship between players. That is what has been the culture of the team. That is what has been really important in this unbeaten run, I would say, more than anything else. So let us celebrate it. It's just not about Real Madrid bought all those Galacticos, Roberto Carlos, Zinedine Zidane, Kaká. Everyone, David Beckham. How many games did the Galacticos won? Did they have any unbeaten record? No. I think Galacticos won one league title and maybe a Champions League. I think I'm not sure if they even won the Champions League. So nothing much. The Galacticos. So it takes more than just bringing a huge pile of talent and just keeping them, filling your bench and stocking your club with them. No, it is all about creating that sense of belongingness to each player. Each player should feel integral. Each player should feel as if he's a part of the project. Each player should feel as if he's a part of doing something really big. Each player should feel as if he's a part of each player should feel as if he's inspired and a part of achieving something really big, achieving history, making history, setting a trend, setting out a path that has never been blazed by before. That is what this 21 game winning streak is all about. Each player being made to feel part of this big setup, each player made to feel being part of creating something extraordinary, something more than themselves, creating something not as an individual but for a team, creating a whole, not just parts. That is what this has been. That's why it has been so inspirational, I would say. So Jota says sometimes you need to lose to remember what winning feels like. Hope the lads take it on board and push on for the strongest ever finish to a season that we have ever had. Exactly, Jota. I can't agree with you anything more than this comment. When you lose, that is what you really get to realize what the world is made up of, who you are. Otherwise, when you're winning, everybody is your friends, everybody is like, it's really happy, all joyful going feel. I mean the world just praises you. But it's when you lose that you get to know what the world is really about, what you are really about. How much character, how much personality you have. So this defeat, let's use this as a stepping stone, as an opportunity to dig deep into ourselves and understand why we were a bit complacent, why we were a bit lethargic, what led to us. There is nothing wrong in facing hindrances at times. And I feel this is a blessing in disguise for us, that we got to introspect ourselves, that we got an opportunity to dig deep into ourselves at this point of the season, rather than losing at a Champions League and licking our wounds like we did against Lyon last time, losing here in a match which doesn't have much consequence to us, in a match that, other than being a derby, it doesn't affect any of our Premier League title chances and all. Absolutely no effect. So let us see this, let us be optimistic and see this as an opportunity to go further. Roberto says, in the last few games, the team has looked flat and a little drained in general, like they were just coasting through games. Looking on the brighter side, this result could act as a reminder that any team can lose at any time, which could further improve the team, especially for the crucial knockout rounds in the Champions League. let's be real here. The title is still more or less wrapped up. Chill on the knee jerk reactions every time we drop points. Exactly. That's what I would say. No knee jerk reactions, no instant reactions. Just let us realize. I mean, how good we were in this winning streak more than anything else. Yes, the team look a bit drained, look lethargic. That is bound to happen when you're playing every 3 days. Yes, City have a big squad, but then still, you still feel effects playing every 3 days. Big squad doesn't mean Pep is rotating 11 members every time, is making big changes, but there are players. Cancelo, for example, Gundogan, for example, has been playing almost every 3 days for the last 1 or 2 weeks. So Mahrez, for example. So it is. So I mean, it is inevitable that the players looked ragged. It was Bernard's under says it was bound to come to an end. Sucks. It's against United, but I'll take over losing to Borussia and getting knocked out of the one cup that matters the most this season. Exactly what we were talking about. This is much more better to lose in a game which doesn't have any 0% consequences. Just maybe United fans will have the bragging rights. They'll say GGMU for the next 1 or 2 days. They'll say Manchester is red for 1 or 2 days, and that's all. Because we know that for a fact at the end of the season it's City who are going to hoist that Premier League flag, and uh, hoist that Premier League trophy over Manchester City. Manchester is blue. I mean, temporarily it might be red, but it is blue at come the end of the season. It is we who have been painting Manchester with trophies. So let us not get into instantaneous reactions. Jersky 17 says this game shows me again the why we need to sign Haaland. We need a world class striker. But yesterday, how many chances did Gabriel Jesus get? For example, nothing. Yes, Sterling got chances, but that is not the position which Haaland plays. I mean, overall, personally, if you ask me, the passing wasn't crisp, and yes, like De Bruyne said at the end of the game, we had created enough to win the game, but still, again, we were creating by banging in long balls against Maguire, Lindelof. If you're hitting long balls into the box, you're literally playing into their hands. Haaland, for me, I personally would go for Lautaro Martinez rather than Haaland. We can Ping says we can still, however, unlikely it is get 95 points. That was the highest points record before we had that Centurion season. It just hurts to lose the derby, no matter the context. Yes, exactly. We can still get 95 points in a season. I thought this season, if any team gets above 80 points, they'll win the league. But getting over 90, I mean, getting 95, the better side of 100. I mean, close to 100. That's just phenomenal, exceptional, I would say. Especially the start, we had the difficult circumstances, the COVID thing, which stuck our team more than any of our top six rivals. I would say everything. We are playing every 3 days, involved in 4 competitions in this special season. I mean, getting 95 would be tremendous. Still, see that everything is in our hands. Losing yesterday or winning yesterday doesn't change our season objectives. Losing yesterday didn't mean that we gain a trophy less, or we don't get the Champions League. Nothing, nothing. Losing yesterday, just a bit of bragging rights to Manchester United, which will again be taken back by us. And this season as well, one derby was draw. We defeated United at home, and United defeated us at our home. So it's basically a one. We drew one derby, lost one derby, won one derby. That's how we can just see it in a whole scenario. Why do you want to see it separately? Just yesterday's game, which a lot of United fans wanted to see. Babs Alexis, not that upset about our loss. We are still at the top of the table by good margin. We won 28 in a row, and United are still below us by 11 points. We still got this exactly. Losing yesterday doesn't change us anything. Even winning yesterday would not have changed us anything. So it was a bit inconsequential, I would say. I was expecting a draw or loss at some point. The thing that really annoys me is that it came against United. If we lost to West Ham or even Gladbach, I wouldn't have been affected. Exactly. Like Liverpool were on an invincible run last season, and they lost to Watford, which got relegated, which ended their invincible run in January or February somewhere. So didn't matter to them much. If they would have lost to United, which ended their unbeaten run, it would have mattered a lot. So no one even talks about it that Liverpool's run was and ended by Watford. So Burnley ended Liverpool's winning run at Anfield. They were, unbeaten run at Anfield. They have not lost at Anfield in the last 67 games. So no one's bothered. It's just that United fans know that their season is going crap, it's just going shit, but they want to isolate this one defeat and put it under a magnifying glass, put it under a microscope, and make us feel like we have been crap, we have been shit all game. So that is something which we should not get drawn into. Even the media, everyone wants to make it look like this. So that is something which we should not get drawn into at all. Don't see it in isolation. See it as the last 22 games. What we won 21, lost one, 21 W's and 1 L. Every team in the previous 100 years and the next 100 years in the Premier League would have taken such a record. Won the last 21, win the Premier League title, and lose to United. If suppose United were in this position, like I said earlier, if I tell him you'll get the Premier League trophy, you have won 21 in a row, would you lose to City and still get the Premier League title in the record? They would say yes. Yes, they'll be satisfied with that. So, but why are we unsatisfied with that? That's my question. So don't get drawn into this negativity. Swapnil 1211 says, just ignore the Man U fans. They win one match against us and they think they've won the league. They shows us our level. Tell me, should we be celebrating a victory against them as extravagantly as they have? No, cause we know we are the better team. Just wait till the final game week to see them barely making the Champions League and crashing out of the group stage again. Excellent point from Swapnil 1211. I would say exactly, the reason why, if suppose City won against United yesterday, would we have reacted as much? No, because we know they're a crap team, they're a shit team, so it's fine. It would just have been another victory. But when your rival is celebrating winning against you so much as if they've won the entire world, they've conquered Europe, they won the entire universe, it just shows you the level they are at. It just shows you that they're feeding on scraps. They will know that maybe once in a year they'll get a chance to celebrate a victory like this. United's record against the top 6 teams, what is it? They won this one match against United, that's City, that's all draws. So they know that they're feeding on scraps. They will get maybe 1 or 2 moments an entire season to celebrate this. That too, if a top 6 team overcomes like City did. So this shows our basically level, basically, as Swapnil says in the comment. And that's what, let us see till the end of the season. United, I'm confident that they'll be scrapping for the Champions League places again, to get into the Champions League group stage, and Europa League, they're against AC Milan, a lot of good teams in Europa League, so I don't think they can progress as much. Gamer Boy says, people on here are unironically saying we should bin Jesus and Sterling next window. Very disappointed. Exactly, we live in so much of a in a world where we want everything instantly, instant food, instant video, instant everything. We are knee jerk on our reactions. On the same way, we are very instantaneous in our reactions as well. So I think instead of isolating this as the whole world really wants us to, let us see it in a larger context. How many games were lost this season? 2 or 3. Leicester, Spurs, and this, and we had 11 points clear at the top. Let us see this positivity. That's what positivity is. Sterling is going through a bad patch. Jesus scored 2 goals in the last game, and before that he was really good in the West Ham game. He came and he created 1 goal, I would say, against Everton. Jesus was excellent. Because of this one performance, you suddenly say Jesus is crap. Sterling, nothing new about Sterling. Sterling hasn't scored in the last 28 appearances against Manchester United. So that doesn't mean Sterling is crap. He hasn't scored in the past as well, but he's got 20-25 goals a season in all competitions still. So this game doesn't mean anything, I would say. Now, people can also say that Ruben Diaz is crap and something you should have played Laporte and all. I mean, one game can people can say Cancelo is crap. Cancelo was disappointing in my player ratings yesterday. I've shown that, but that doesn't mean that one game and a player doesn't play well, he's suddenly crap. Until yesterday, Cancelo was the best fullback in the league. People were not able to figure out how the positions Cancelo is playing, coming inverted fullback, and suddenly one game Luke Shaw goes past him, and suddenly Luke Shaw is the best fullback in the world, and Cancelo is crap. He should be sold to United for a cut price deal. I mean, what a crap logic. That's all in the media. What I'm saying, just go and look at it. That Blue Moon guy says if getting Haaland means letting someone go, I wouldn't be opposed to this idea. Honestly, Sterling mostly not, but his. I don't think he's progressed as much as we would like. But again, it's a big if. We'll speak against Sterling a bit more later, because this game is not the game to judge Sterling. There are games where there are games where every player will have his bogey defender. Even Lionel Messi, there would have been a defender. I'm sure, I don't know who he is, but surely there would have been a defender who would have pocketed him, who is his bogey defender. So in the same way against Spurs, for example, earlier in the season in November when we lost to them, um, Mahrez was not able to get beyond Regulion. That doesn't mean that Mahrez is crap. The same thing here. Sterling has not been able to get beyond Aaron Van Bissaka for a long time. That doesn't mean there are some players which Ronaldo will not be able to get beyond. That doesn't mean Ronaldo is crap. For example, Mikel Arteta always beats Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer always beats Pep Guardiola. That doesn't mean that Ole is a much better world class manager than Pep. Big Sam, for example, I think he always beats Jose Mourinho. That doesn't mean that Big Sam is better than Jose Mourinho. So each manager has their bogey managers. There are some bogey teams. There are some, bogey fullbacks for the attacking players. Similarly, bogey attackers for their respective fullbacks. That's part and parcel of the game. You can't judge Sterling, for example, against a player who he has not scored against for the last how many ever games, last 2-3 years. So not a good game to judge Sterling, I would say. This is the kind of energy. Captain Courageous 316 says, this is the kind of energy that I love to see. The winning run was brilliant, and I love the boys and Pep for giving that. Exactly. Positivity is what we need. Night Elf says, this game proves me right all over again. We simply can't trust Sterling on big games and big occasions. He has some kind of mental block in these type of games. KDB operates well with a striker up front. Without a proper striker, his directness hampers. His can never be a striker if he wants to win something big in Europe. I'm all for not play Gabby and Sterling in big games where the margin of error is very low, but we don't have the luxury to miss sitters. Well, at least this win will keep OG's job secured for the next season too. So that's not a bad thing, isn't it? Exactly. This might not be a bad thing at all until Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is at United. The board will play with him. The board will not give him the players, and somehow Ole has to fight for his job, and he'll somehow scrap top fours for United. So he'll always be bottling it. A perfect scenario for City fans, if you and fans of other Premier League clubs, if you look at it in a long run. Because if a new big manager comes to United, he would demand transfers, he would demand players, he would demand everyone. So if Ole is there, he's an ex-player, legend of United. Fans won't turn on him as much. There's the board, which can, he's a new manager, not that experienced, when compared to Pep or a Mourinho or Klopp. He can't walk out like Mourinho did. So he will not be given exactly the players he wants. He'll begin his second or third choices, which would mean that he would not be able to compete for the league. Not a bad thing for us at all, but it's an excellent point. But I tell again, Raheem Sterling for me. No, in the big games, does Raheem Sterling really does he really bottle it in the big games? Let us look at it against Leon. What did Raheem Sterling do? Missed a sitter. Yesterday, yes, he missed a sitter header. Yes, Raheem Sterling, that is a really good point. If you see Raheem Sterling, there is something, turning up in the big games. That is what is really needed for Raheem Sterling to go on to the next level. And as for KDB, without a striker, I mean, we played really well without Aguero and Jesus for a large part of the season as in a false nine system. So I don't necessarily agree with it. But having a striker, someone like an Aguero, would really help. KDB, put in those balls directly that cross across the box and things like that. You could just flash it across the opponent's penalty box, and someone like an Aguero will be there for a tap in. You'll know that. But then bringing Aguero would mean that maybe our pressing efficiency is not as good, our defensive efficiency is not as good. It would just be a trade-off, I would say, whether you want to play Aguero or you want to play a Jesus for that matter. So I would say it. I mean, very interesting comments. Are you liking this format of the show? Me reading fan comments. Me keeping up with the discussion of what is happening in the community. If you like more of these, just let me know um, in the comment section below. I'll do more of these. So I mean, there's nothing to be too much disappointed about yesterday's loss. Let us not get into this delusion like United fans want to draw us and put this loss yesterday in a microscope and isolate it and see and feel like we are the most crappiest, useless team in Europe. No, no, no. Yesterday's loss doesn't have any consequences for us. In fact, it doesn't change anything. Our objective in the season is still to win all the four trophies, still to go for the Champions League. We are not out of any trophy due to yesterday's loss, and yesterday's win for United doesn't mean that they are going to win a trophy this season unless they win the Europa League, which I think is really very hard for them to do. And as Elf pointed out in the comments, I mean, it's good that Ole keeps his job for another season, which would mean that it would be another season where United don't get the players they want with the board, where their board doesn't deliver the players they want. And Ole, tactically, I'm still not convinced that he can compete against Pep throughout the season. And he can compete against the top six, in fact, throughout the season, I would say. So in fact, in a wider perspective, let us all be optimistic and look forward to Southampton game more than dwell on this game. It's good that fixtures are coming thick and fast. I want that Southampton game to come as fast as possible, so that we can just shift our attention onto that. Anyway, I really hope you have enjoyed the video. Please click on the like button and the subscribe button if you have really enjoyed the video. And click on the bell icon along with the subscribe button, so that you get notifications whenever I post new videos. I'll again be coming in front of you tomorrow with some latest Manchester City news again. Until then, see you everyone and take care.